To comment during the Frankly Speaking show, you first need to open the video that is being streamed live. Look for the chat box on the side or bottom of the video player. This is where you can type your message. Click inside the chat box and use your keyboard to type out what you want to say. You can type words, use emojis, or even ask questions. Once you've typed your message, press the Enter key on your keyboard or click the Send button. Your comment will then appear in the chat for everyone watching the live stream to see. If you want to send another comment, just type it in the chat box again and press Enter or Send. Your new comment will show up below your previous one.
Good day, good day. Good day. Best wishes are going out for Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton after his accident today. Speedy recovery, sir. We gather the injury to your wrist is minor. And we'll all know on another story that was breaking over Sunday. We'll all know about that small fire and break-in at the Parliament building early this morning. We are waiting investigations into that. But again, speedy recovery, Minister Tufton. Good day. This is June 2, 2024. This is the 122nd episode of the Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast. Thank you for joining us. Please feel free to comment. And we just gave a little tutorial there on the comment side. The link to this live show also allows anyone to watch later. So please share with your friends and subscribe. Our regular panelists are with us today. Desmond Richards, Winnie Anderson Brown, and Mary White. They'll each give us a synopsis of their issues for this week. Desmond, let's hear you.
Well, for this big talk going on about dual citizenship is a distraction. The people, there are some serious issues facing the people right now. Crime, road fatalities, water issues, cost of living, all those issues that contribute to the life of the people. They are not being addressed. We are now concentrating on dual citizenship, which it is what we must talk about is how we must remove from the Constitution, if we want to do that, that if you want to be a member of Parliament or Prime Minister, you must be a Jamaican.
All right, so we'll come back to you, Desmond, for you to flesh it all out for us. We will come back to you. Winnie, yes. Your time.
Yes, this week my focus is on education. And my thesis is that every level of the education system is equally important. And to really focus on anyone, especially early childhood education, is a colossal mistake.
Oh, and so you are saying everything must go at one time. We'll see how that works. We're coming to you now, Mary.
If you're like me, your mom would have assigned you the task of stripping the onion, stripping the garlic, and stripping the scallion. Little did I know the health and wealth my mom was sown into my future by teaching me the importance of these vegetables.
Onions and garlic.
Yes.
All right, and we're coming back to Mary on that. I want to talk about the Jamaican identity and what Desmond calls a distraction, dual citizenship, frankly speaking. I want to go there, but I want to get back to Desmond and allow him to flesh out what he was saying. You say that it was a distraction, Desmond, so you go ahead.
Yes, it's a distraction. Right now in Jamaica, there are serious issues facing Jamaicans. Water problem, bad roads, high cost of living, crime, road fatalities, and many other problems. They are crippling the lives of people. This thing about dual citizenship, what they are talking about now. In the constitution that we have, that is permitted. What they should be talking about is, for example, the Constitutional Reform Committee in its report. What it should be talking about is, okay, if you want to be an MP or member or prime minister, you must be a Jamaican citizen. You must not be any Commonwealth citizen. We can do that. We can remove it from our constitution, right? And therefore, when they have this issue hanging in front of us, while people are dying like flies every day, road fatalities, the cost of living, what is being done to reduce crime and reduce the suffering, the mourning in the country? What is being done? What about the bad roads condition? What about the cost of living where people are having it difficult, very difficult to find money to send their children to school and to provide for their families? Those are real issues affecting the lives of the people. And we should not spend time dealing with things that can be handled and deal with very efficiently. Change the constitution.
And Desmond, before anybody else jumps in, I just want to ask you this question. You can't have a discussion about dual citizenship while you're still working on crime, while you're still working on water problems.
That was my thought.
While you're dealing with issues, some of these issues which have been forever there.
I am saying that must be relegated to a position, not in other words, the problem of crime, the problem of high cost of living, those issues must be given priorities. Those are the issues that are affecting the lives of the people, right? People can't find food. People can't get good services at hospitals, right? Those are issues which are on top of the people and needs immediate attention. What about getting water to people? What about that? Those are issues that must be prioritized.
All right. So, any comment on anybody else before?
I just want to make one comment. I think the people that are the biggest challenge to being in Parliament are the people who have green cards. The dual citizen can live anywhere, but those with the green card, they are the problem. So we have a bigger problem than what is on the table now.
And when you say they're the problem, what do you mean, Winnie?
I mean that in order to maintain your green card, you have to be, I'm speaking specifically about the US now, you have to be there for a certain number of months in the year. So
that's what I thought.
Those people are more of a problem than the citizen.
All right. Heard you. It's over. It's Mary doesn't have any comment on that, no? So we take no to Mary, we'll take you now.
Okay. So back to the onions. Those are the bulbs similar to the garlic and the scallion that we all used to season. We use them as seasoning to season up our food. But every time I go to the farmer's market and I'm picking up my onions, I just do a little yeah. Because it's a yay to my heart and a yay to my gut and a yay to my lungs, because they have such great benefits when you eat them. Whether you eat them on your salads, because for me, I love the purple onions. So when I do my salads, I cut it up on it, that color one that just come up on the screen. And then when I'm doing my meats, there's this antioxidant benefit where it helps to control the bacteria on your food. But let's go to the 3 top health benefits that I have listed out for you this evening. First one, it decreases the risk of diseases, especially heart disease and certain cancers. And remember that before you get to heart disease, you have certain things such as stroke and other things that lead up to the big killer. The second benefit is it promotes digestive health. A lot of us are sick and functioning below our capacity, our health capacity, because our gut is not right. Because your gut is like your second brain, and so you want to focus on making your gut as healthy as possible. The third and final health benefit I'm sharing is it improves your immune health. We just came out of COVID and a lot of people were casualties. Why? Immune health. So anything you can do to boost your immune health is a great thing for your body. So this week I want you to think about, as you eat foods, think, which part of my body am I eating this food to heal? And when you eat onions, you can think, I am healing my lungs, I'm healing my gut, and I'm healing my heart. So be very intentional this week to include some onions on your food and salads.
Oh, thank you. I've heard about the benefits of onions before, but how much of it you must have, Mary?
Like for me, when I do my salads, I buy like a small one because I don't like to cut them and put them down because you know they have a scent. And people say that when you put them down for too long, it loses its potency. So I buy them tiny. So each time I cut one, I just use a small one on my veggies. It tastes great, especially after you put your salad dressing on it.
Great. Thank you. All right. Now, Winnie, it's over to you.
Okay, I'll go to early childhood education first, to say that there was never a time when early childhood education was just left like that. From 1938, Reverend Henry Ward, he was the one that had the first community school that turned out to be basic school. You hear of DRB Grant, the Van Leer Foundation. I can speak like that because as an early childhood institution had been in my family from 1934. That was before 1938. So, and together as a family, I mean, mother, father, brothers, and sisters, we have over 200 years of contribution to education. So when I speak, I have worked at all levels of the education system, and I know what I'm talking about. So at every level, this thing about, early childhood, there was never a time when it was left like that. You had recognized basic schools, and you also had those that were not recognized. There were set criteria to set up these schools. So the notion that they just happened like that and it's time to pay attention, that is false. Attention has been paid to that sector over time. Another thing is that at every level of the education system, there are challenges. And I put it this way, if you leave the teenagers, remember that's a stage of development as well. If you leave the primary school, if you leave the high school, if you leave your workforce, that's the tertiary level. If you leave them, we have a problem. So every level of the education system deserves attention, and the challenges at each level must be faced head on.
All right, Winnie.
But Winnie,
I heard that.
Winnie,
I heard that. Go ahead, Desmond.
Winnie,
Go ahead.
Winnie, I since I am living in Jamaica, and I have been living in Jamaica for over 60 odd years.
Yes.
I don't hear any argument that the early childhood, the early childhood must be left alone. What we are saying is that early childhood is a very special time to ensure that you take care of the children.
Yes.
And what we are saying is that, at that stage, you need the best teachers, the best institutions, and the best guidance, because at that age is when the children they are like sponge, they are absorbing a lot. We are not saying, I've never heard any argument that, okay, you for example, you leave out the primary education. Primary schools also need special attention. Tertiary school needs special attention. So And I don't know if you are saying that we must approach all of these one time. What I think must be done. What I think must be done is that more money must be spent at the early childhood stage so that you have the best facilities there, the best teachers. One of the things you must remember, you know, some of these children who go to
Desmond, give her a chance to respond. Desmond.
No,
give her a chance to respond.
There's so much to correct with that. I can tell you this from personal experience. You have an attitude problem. I am at our school and somebody, a teacher from Kingston, comes by. And you know what the teacher says to me? Excuse me, you sound intelligent. Are you a trained teacher? Of course, I did not answer. The attitude and the way they treat people at that level is a whole, look here, this is a whole program in itself.
But Winnie, but it is true that a lot of the people at that level
who are you referring to as they?
No, it's like you said to Winnie. A lot of the people at that level are in fact not trained. Whether somebody makes a stupid comment about it.
Let me address that. There's no group in this country that every single month you have to go to workshop and it values nothing. Over the years, you just pay people. Years, it adds up to so many hours for nothing. No.
Well, I buy Desmond's argument, which is a conventional argument, that this age group needs a lot of attention, it needs a lot of resources, and especially in this society, where children are starting off and are finishing
totally agree with that.
Illiterate. Go ahead, Winnie, and then we move on.
I totally agree that it is important, just like the nursery for the farmer. You cannot ignore your nursery. It is important. But what I am saying is this. It is not true that most of the people at this level, if after every month they have to go to workshop and they can't be trained, why allow them to work? It has to value something.
No, Winnie. Are you saying the majority of teachers at early childhood schools are trained in Jamaica? That's what you're saying?
Listen what I'm saying. I am saying, listen carefully. What I'm saying is this. I know for a fact that every month these teachers have to go to workshops. And I'm saying that has been going on for many years. If you add those up, what is it for if it's not training?
It doesn't equate to training them, though, Winnie. It doesn't equate to a teacher's diploma.
Winnie, we're talking about...
Mary wants to jump in.
We're
talking about you.
Confusion here. Am I to understand that there's training through workshops, but there is an element where early childhood teachers are allowed a pass to enter the education system without a proper teaching diploma or certificate? And
the majority of teachers at basic school are not trained.
Okay, that makes sense now. But we need contending that they are
can you
the workshops training.
Any of your comments?
Yes, we have one comment.
Not right away. I'm going to come back to them in a little while. We just want
no problem.
People to know that we have not forgotten them. So, Winnie, your last word on the basic school before I get on to my comments.
I go back to what I said initially. The focus and the attention that is being given to early childhood education is not what is expected at this stage. What has been going on for over time, that needs to be tidied up. There was never a time when early childhood education was totally neglected in Jamaica. Never.
And no? And what about it? No. What about the situation? No. Are you happy with it?
What needs to happen now? And training still goes on. Remember what happens with heart? Remember how?
Yes, remember. But just
remember,
as you said, that requires a whole program. But how do you feel now?
There are several ways of being trained. Several
Okay.
ways.
All right.
Several ways.
Okay. Mary, you want to
We're
give us
not,
some
we're
of your
not,
feedback that you're
we're not
seeing?
talking about we're not talking
Yes.
about informal. We are not talking about informal training. We are talking about just like how teachers go to
Formal, yes.
micro and shorthood
And like the ones you
and
used to teach
graduate
in
and come back,
Charlotte,
and
Winnie, that's what we're talking about. Proper
that is what I'm talking about.
formal training. Go ahead, Mary. Let's
Yes.
get your comments and
So
then
we
we
have
move on.
Ruby online today, and she's saying she's agreeing with Brother Desmond's earlier comment, that the politicians need to get their priorities right. So
Okay.
don't spend so much time or any time at all on the citizenship issue, but go fight the crime, I would imagine. She also says that regarding the education issue, that all sectors of the education system need attention. And she believes that the best teachers must be placed at the lower level, because foundation is the key. So if what I'm hearing is that the teachers, you can't enter the primary school without a proper teaching qualification, a professional, formal teaching qualification, right, Brother D?
Yes.
But you
That's
can
right.
enter the basic level without it.
No, not only that you can, the great majority are without it.
So we have a problem then.
Yes.
In that case, we do have a problem where I don't think the workshop argument is enough to substitute for proper formal training, then to be followed up with workshop training to have a fully rounded, proper, formalized teacher.
I must clarify this.
Mary, when you want to put in a quick point
It
again.
has never been a situation where it was only workshop. Never. Workshop is a part of the whole thing.
All right. Good. Okay. Let me just pick up on my comments. Frankly speaking, I did my own checks on scientific poll. Yes, week before last, 6 of 9 people I talked to in St. Anne and St. Mary have no clue, and these are not just bottom of the string people, as some of you might think, had no clue what the debate, the constitutional debate, was about or where it's going, and 5 of the 6 did not care. I want you to understand me now. 6 of the 9 people I spoke with had no clue about it. And 6 of them, a mix between those who had no clue and those who had a clue, didn't care. I do care, frankly speaking. There are some other matters I care about more than the constitutional issues, such as the constant unraveling of the foundational values in the society and the continued slide of this country into a ghetto. Yes, into a ghetto. For the moment, though, there is one whole excitement about dual citizenship. Some people speak about it out of bad mind and malice. Some argue that it is of less importance than just having a good leader. Some people speak about it purely along partisan political lines. But let's look here. I can't allow the opportunity to miss me to say to the leader of the opposition that the leader of the opposition has got himself into one royal mess on this issue. I'd urge Mark Golding to give up his British passport. Frankly speaking, it's fine, as Desmond said earlier, and it's within the law for him to sit in the House as dual citizen, Jamaican and British, as the Constitution allows. But frankly speaking, I'd like to know that the Prime Minister of Jamaica holds one passport, the Jamaican one, regardless of whether many Jamaicans have 2, as some do, or whether many Jamaicans would love to have 2, or some Jamaicans have a Jamaican passport and a green card with it. Nor is the question that the Prime Minister must live as we do. I'm not even arguing that. That's, frankly speaking, another matter and another argument, because they do not. The MPs, for example, don't live as their constituents do either. So that's not the issue. Mr. Golding could well become the Prime Minister in a year or less, about a year or less. He must have one passport, a Jamaican one. And I'm not into the complications. I'm just saying that's where we are now. Desmond said we can't change the Constitution. to determine that or to say that, but each citizen, and I am one, has a voice in this and other matters. And that's my position, Desmond, and I know you want to take it on right away.
I'm with you, Sir Matt, before Brother Desmond jump in. I am with you that my Jamaican Prime Minister should hold one passport, and that's a Jamaican passport. But that's 10 people you have just polled.
I am not saying that the Jamaican Prime Minister should have 2 passports. You know. That's not the point I'm making. I am saying that that is an issue that we can change. Right now, right now, both the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition, one of the things I heard both of them saying is how citizens living in United States, Jamaicans living in other countries, what role can they play politically? In other words, should they be MPs? Now I am saying that we have an opportunity in front of us now to deal with that. We can insert it in our constitution to say that whoever is going to be the Prime Minister of Jamaica must have a Jamaican passport only, and the argument done.
But I think they should go even further, Brother Desmond, and just because why have them enter the system to serve if they can't get to the ultimate or it becomes problematic? I believe from the entry level, like the foundation level, we need to set it right. A requirement to serve in
like as MPs, you mean? Like from
right, even councillors, just set it right from the beginning. A requirement to serve serve the people of Jamaica should be this, so that they don't get to this level. It doesn't get, and we're having this argument now at the top when this foundation is rotten.
Well, yeah, we can do that too. But
Winnie, you're shaking your head. Go ahead, Winnie.
I have a difficulty with this argument. Why? Because
Winnie is responding.
Because Mark Golding was born here. I agree with Desmond that if you, as long as the Constitution allows it, you can't just fight it like that. Change it. But there's another side to it. No matter how you cut it, Mark Golding's father is British. Mark Golding was born here. He was not born in Britain and then taken here. Severing that tie, I am listening to what he said. Look, when it comes to the politics, that's not where I am. I'm looking at sentiment, and I'm putting myself in Mark Golding's position. My father, I am a British citizen because my father is British. That's something I can never change. So I am saying, as long as if you are going to say that he should not have had a father like that, or because his father...
No, that's not the point. You are saying he has a decision to make. He's putting himself up to lead this country.
But there's nothing wrong. The Constitution allows it. So unless you change it, leave him alone. Unless you change it, there's nothing legally wrong. The only thing I'd say is that he should recuse himself when they are discussing.
I'm sorry we weren't able to take this more. And Mary had some other comments on
just
behalf of
one
Mary.
Before we go, Sir Matt, just one. Marshallee, our girl Marshallee, just tuned in. Hi, Marshallee, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for commenting. She said that if they give them more free lunches, so I would say to her that I was a beneficiary of the free lunch at school, that milk thing and the bun thing and the bulgur. Used to get a lot of that.
Mary. Thank you very much. On behalf of Mary, Winnie, and Desmond, and technical support by Joshua Black, a free lunch notwithstanding, thank you as ever for joining the Frankly Speaking Jamaica podcast. We invite you to share the link and to subscribe to the podcast if you have not yet done so. I'm Franklin McKnight. Until then, and thank you all for joining us today.